Gravel cut into Anna's bare feet as she stumbled through the night, lungs burning, heart thrashing like a trapped bird. The moon hung pale and cold, shadows stretching long across the forgotten path. A whisper carried on the wind, chilling her spine. Daniel said, "They will never let you go." Panic drove her forward, every breath sharp with dread. Behind her, boots struck the earth with cruel rhythm, the enforcer's heavy steps echoing closer. She thought of her mother's voice, once gentle, now twisted into sermons demanding obedience. A locked door slammed in her mind, sealing freedom away, memory colliding with the present. Anna whispered, "I won't go back." The trees seemed to lean, skeletal branches clawing at her skin. The silence between footsteps became unbearable, filled with unspoken terror. The cult leader's promise, "We are family," still poisoned her thoughts. She saw torches flicker behind, glowing like predators' eyes. The air reeked of fear and wet earth. Every sound was magnified, her breath, the crack of twigs, the echo of pursuit. This was no dream. It was the unraveling of her soul, a nightmare clawing its way into reality. Anna's body shivered as she crouched low in the shadows of the trees, the night pressing like a weight. Her breath hitched, every inhale sharp as knives. Somewhere behind, voices carried. Samuel said, "She must be found." Fear strangled her throat as she clutched her knees to her chest. Her heart screamed for escape, yet her body trembled into stillness. She thought of Daniel's warning echoing and her mother's cold gaze. Anna whispered, "I can't stop now." The silence became unbearable, broken only by distant steps and the rustle of leaves, as though the forest itself turned against her. She felt eyes watching from every shadow, unseen yet undeniable. Hope thinned, replaced with the icy certainty that capture meant the end. The gravel path stretched into darkness, endless and cruel. Anna's bare feet bled, each step marking the earth with her desperation. Daniel's whisper replayed, "They will never let you go." Behind, the enforcer's voice roared like thunder, calling commands to faceless followers. Anna gasped, "I won't be theirs." Her chest ached, but her will flared. The memory of Samuel's false promises cut like glass, each word a chain. She stumbled, but the thought of freedom, fragile and fleeting, pushed her upright again. Every sound of pursuit pressed closer, dread suffocating the air. The night itself felt alive, watching, waiting for her fall. The silence of the forest snapped as a branch cracked under heavy boots. Anna froze, pressed against bark, every muscle taut with terror. Samuel's voice echoed from memory. "Obedience brings salvation." Anna whispered, "It brings chains." Her skin prickled with the certainty of being hunted. She closed her eyes, saw her mother's stern face, Daniel's shadow, the enforcer's torch. Her breath came shallow, desperate. She knew capture meant weeks of darkness behind locked doors. Fear carved into her soul, but beneath it a flicker of defiance sparked. The cult would not silence her forever. Anna's heart pounded as the torches drew nearer, voices overlapping like a chant. The enforcer shouted, "She is here." Shadows flickered, trees convulsing under firelight. Anna whispered, "Not tonight." She burst from her hiding place, sprinting with raw desperation, gravel tearing open wounds on her feet. The night howled with her flight, every step a rebellion. Behind, Samuel's voice rose, commanding, manipulative, eternal. "You belong to us." Her throat ached, but her will screamed louder, carrying her deeper into the unknown. This was no escape yet, but it was defiance, the spark of survival lit in the darkest hour. Anna remembered the day she first stepped inside the compound, her heart aching for belonging. The wooden gates loomed, but Samuel said, "Here you will find family." His smile disarmed her fear. Daniel stood nearby, his gaze hollow, but his nod gave her courage. Her mother clasped her hand with unyielding grip, whispering, "This is where salvation begins." Anna's longing outweighed her doubts, loneliness wrapping around her like chains. The silent observer lingered near, eyes downcast, yet watching. The enforcer paced the perimeter with silent authority. The air smelled of earth and smoke, and the sound of chants echoed. Anna whispered, "Maybe this is where I can heal." But even in that moment, shadows already reached for her soul. Days blurred as Anna was folded into their rituals. She sang hymns with trembling voice, clapping hands in rhythm. Samuel's voice carried above all, commanding devotion. Her mother said, "Keep your eyes lowered." Daniel muttered prayers, never meeting her gaze. The innocent child's laughter briefly softened the air, a fragile sweetness in a harsh place. Yet the silent observer's eyes flickered with sadness, silent stories buried in their stare. Anna told herself, "This feels like home." But each chant sank deeper, replacing doubt with hollow surrender. Every song was another thread tying her to their world. Night fell heavy, stars swallowed by black clouds. Anna lay awake on her straw mat, listening to the silence broken only by Samuel's voice from memory. "You are chosen." Daniel turned on his side, whispering to himself. Her mother slept with her hand curled into a fist. Anna whispered, "Am I chosen or trapped?" The innocent slept nearby, curled against a blanket, breathing softly. Silent observer stared at ceiling, motionless, wide eyes glowing faint in candle's dying flame. The enforcer's boots echoed faintly outside, steady as chains. Anna's heart ached with the weight of her longing. She only wanted to belong, but belonging came wrapped in control. Morning sun spilled weakly across the compound as Samuel addressed the followers. His voice rang, "You are my children, and I am your guide." Anna stood with the others, heart split between awe and unease. Her mother said, "He is our salvation." The enforcer stood like a sentinel, arms crossed, scanning for dissent. Daniel's lips moved in forced agreement. Silent observer watched quietly, hands clasped too tight. The innocent swayed with joy, believing every word. Anna whispered, "Maybe this is love." Yet beneath her chest, unease pulsed like a hidden drum, waiting for its moment to be heard. That evening, Anna helped prepare bread in the smoky kitchen. Her hands shook as she kneaded dough. Her mother said, "Work is devotion." Daniel avoided her eyes, whispering a prayer. Samuel entered, his presence commanding silence. He said, "Even the smallest task is sacred." Anna nodded, though her heart screamed with doubt. Silent observer brushed past, eyes darting briefly to hers, a flicker of warning or kinship, she could not tell. The innocent's giggle echoed from the courtyard, chasing sparrows. The enforcer's silhouette passed the doorway, shadow vast against firelight. Anna whispered, "Is this devotion or prison?" The silence answered her back. The morning bell rang with a hollow clang, pulling everyone into the courtyard. Samuel said, "Discipline keeps you pure." Anna lowered her gaze, fear stirring inside. Her mother whispered, "Obey without question." The enforcer circled like a predator, torchlight still lingering in his eyes. Daniel's lips trembled with forced devotion. The silent observer stood motionless, watching shadows instead of people. The innocent clapped, unaware of the fear woven into the ritual. Anna thought, every step is counted, every breath measured. The chants rose, drowning her thoughts. The compound pressed tighter, the air suffocating. Chains were no longer visible, but they bound her just the same. Anna's hands stung as she scrubbed the stone floor, knuckles raw from repetition. Samuel's words echoed, "Work cleanses sin." Her mother watched with sharp eyes, saying, "Do it again." Daniel passed, carrying buckets, his arms trembling, avoiding her gaze. The enforcer stood nearby, silent but suffocating. The innocent's giggle carried faintly, chasing a butterfly beyond the door. Silent observer brushed past, eyes hollow, leaving unspoken warnings in their silence. Anna whispered, "I'm not cleansed, I'm erased." The weight of obedience pressed her chest, stealing air. Every motion stripped her will, piece by piece, until she barely recognized herself. The evening ritual began with firelight flickering across faces. Samuel said, "Confession cleanses the soul." Anna's pulse raced, dread crawling beneath her skin. Her mother whispered, "Speak or be punished." Daniel's voice shook as he confessed disobedient thoughts, his eyes filled with shame. The enforcer stepped closer, grip tightening on his staff. "Him." Silent observer glanced upward briefly, eyes glistening with something unspoken. The innocent giggled softly at a crackling ember, not understanding the fear laced in the air. Anna whispered, "If I speak, I am exposed. If I stay silent, I am guilty." Her words trembled in her throat, trapped between survival and truth. Punishment followed swiftly for disobedience. The enforcer dragged Daniel into the center, Samuel declaring, "Pain breaks pride." Anna's stomach twisted, every nerve screaming to resist, but fear chained her silence. Her mother's lips curved in cruel approval. Daniel cried out, but his voice broke into sobs. The silent observer turned away, trembling hands pressed to their face. The innocent's laughter died, eyes wide with shock at the cruelty. Anna whispered, "Is this holiness?" The torchlight burned too bright, searing her memory with images she would never escape. Obedience was demanded, rebellion crushed, and silence enforced by terror. That night, Anna couldn't close her eyes. The sound of Daniel's cries haunted her, echoing against the wooden walls. Samuel's words repeated, "Pain breaks pride." Her mother slept peacefully, face carved in stern lines. The silent observer's breaths came shallow, restless, as if fighting unseen battles. The innocent whimpered in his sleep, clutching his blanket. The enforcer's footsteps outside marked the boundary of fear. Anna whispered, "We are prisoners with open eyes." The night pressed heavy, every sound reminding her of chains. Her longing for freedom clashed violently with fear of punishment. The cult had stripped her voice, but not her will. Anna carried baskets into the storage room, the air damp with mold. She froze when she heard Samuel's voice behind the wooden wall. He said, "Take their offerings, keep them blind." Her chest tightened, the words shattering his image of holiness. Daniel whispered from shadows, "Now you know." Her mother entered, face calm, saying, "Faith demands sacrifice." Anna whispered, "This is greed, not salvation." Silent observers stood in the corner, eyes wet but lips sealed. The enforcer passed the doorway, torch casting fire across walls. The innocent sang outside, voice pure and unknowing. Anna realized the truth. Samuel was no savior, only a thief cloaked in sermons. That night, Samuel stood before the followers, robe glistening with gold threads. He said, "Your offerings keep the fire alive." Anna's stomach churned, seeing baskets piled high, their hunger traded for his wealth. Her mother shouted, "Amen!" Daniel's fists clenched, lips trembling. Silent observer stared at the ground, unmoving. The innocent clapped happily, unaware of the deception. The enforcer scanned the crowd, staff in hand, ready to silence doubt. Anna whispered, "He feeds on us." The illusion cracked, exposing greed beneath his mask. For the first time, Anna felt rage burn hotter than fear. In the silence after the ritual, Daniel pulled Anna aside, voice trembling. He said, "They will kill anyone who questions." Anna's breath hitched, her heart heavy with the weight of choice. Silent observer passed by, glancing briefly with a warning. The enforcer's shadow stretched across the wall, his presence suffocating. Anna whispered, "Then why do you stay?" Daniel's eyes watered, his voice breaking, "Because leaving means death." Her mother appeared suddenly, eyes sharp, asking, "What are you hiding?" Anna's blood ran cold. Betrayal whispered from every corner, trust evaporating into night. The next day, Anna was summoned before Samuel. He said, "Your devotion wavers." His voice dripped with accusation, cloaked in sweetness. Anna forced her knees to bend, heart thrashing. The enforcer stood beside him, staff ready. Silent observer lingered behind, eyes fixed on the ground. Her mother said, "She needs correction." Daniel looked away, unable to speak. The innocent skipped nearby, chasing a stray feather, oblivious to the storm. Anna whispered, "I will not break." Samuel's smile widened, cruel and knowing. This was not guidance, this was control dressed as love. That night, Anna's world broke open. She found Daniel whispering to Samuel in secret, voice shaking as he said, "I give her to you, so I may live." Her chest cracked with betrayal. Silent observer saw, eyes wide with horror, but said nothing. Her mother appeared, nodding in approval, her voice cold, "It is for her soul." The enforcer stood guard outside, silent shadow in firelight. The innocent slept nearby, dreams untainted by the cruelty. Anna whispered, "You betrayed me." Daniel turned, tears streaking his face, saying, "I had no choice." The final chain snapped. She was no longer safe among them. The courtyard blazed with fire as Samuel called Anna forward. He said, "Your rebellion ends tonight." Her mother's voice rose. She must be purified. Anna's knees shook, but defiance burned within. Daniel stood in the shadows, his eyes swollen with regret. Silent observer looked on, trembling hands pressed together. The enforcer gripped his staff, waiting for Samuel's signal. The innocent watched with wide eyes, not yet understanding cruelty. Anna whispered, "I will not kneel." The silence fractured as gasps rippled through the crowd. Samuel's smile faltered for the first time, fear lurking beneath his mask of divinity. The spark of rebellion lit in her chest. Samuel's voice thundered, "Break her spirit." The enforcer stepped forward, staff raised. Anna's heart pounded, but she stood unmoving. Her mother shouted, "Do not resist." Daniel's voice cracked, "Stop, please." The innocent cried out, small voice lost in the roar. Silent observer covered her mouth, muffling sobs. Anna whispered, "I'd rather die free than life chained." The enforcer's eyes narrowed, the staff descending toward her. For the first time, Samuel's control trembled, his hand twitching with hesitation. Fear and fury clashed in the air, thick as smoke. The crowd shifted, unease spreading like wildfire. The staff struck ground beside Anna, a crack splitting the silence. The enforcer's hand shook as if torn between orders and doubt. Samuel roared, "Strike her!" Anna's voice broke free. "You are no savior, only a thief." The crowd gasped. Her mother screamed, "Blasphemy!" Daniel's tears streamed as he whispered, "She's right." Silent observer lifted her eyes, strength flickering at last. The innocent sobs pierced the night, echoing louder than chants. For the first time, fear shifted, no longer hers alone, but shared. The enforcer's eyes flickered with humanity, a fracture in his mask of loyalty. Samuel shouted, "Seize her!" But hesitation spread. The enforcer's staff lowered. Silent observer stepped closer, whispering, "Run!" Daniel staggered forward, saying, "Take the chance." Her mother screeched, "Do not let her escape." The innocent reached tiny hands toward Anna, eyes pleading. Samuel's face twisted, fury cracking his mask. Anna whispered, "I choose freedom." She lunged, breaking through the circle of stunned followers. Torches wavered as chaos erupted, chants dissolving into cries. The night turned wild, fire and fear colliding as she ran. This was no longer obedience's world. It was survival's. Anna's feet tore across gravel, lungs burning. Behind her, Samuel's voice roared, "Bring her back." The enforcer did not follow. Daniel shouted after her, "Go!" Her mother's curses filled the night, venom thick. Silent observers, whisper echoed in her ear, "Run!" The innocent's cry chased her steps, fragile and heartbreaking. Torches flickered like predators behind, but the darkness ahead beckoned. Anna whispered, "I will not be theirs." The forest opened wide, shadows swallowing her figure. Each step was pain, but each step was freedom. Her defiance had lit the night, and there was no turning back. Anna collapsed in the forest clearing, chest heaving, blood from her feet soaking the dirt. The night was silent now, only the wind carrying whispers of the cult's chants. She whispered, I'm free, but I'm not whole. Daniel's voice haunted her, his betrayal echoing in every heartbeat. Samuel's promise of family poisoned her memories. The innocent's cries still clung to her ears, fragile as glass. Silent observers' whisper, "Run," played over and over. The enforcer's hesitation, staff lowered, made her wonder if he too carried chains unseen. Anna stared at the sky, stars indifferent to her pain. She had survived, but survival felt like carrying ghosts. At dawn, Anna walked along the riverbank, water reflecting pale light. She whispered, "The chains are gone, but their weight remains." She saw her mother's face in memory, stern and unyielding. Daniel's voice whispered, "I had no choice." Samuel's booming sermons echoed, demanding obedience. The innocent's laughter, once sweet, now broke her heart with its purity. Silent observers' gaze burned in her mind, the silent ally who risked everything. The enforcer's silence lingered like a question. Was he prison or prisoner? The river flowed endlessly, yet Anna felt anchored in sorrow. Freedom was hers, but peace was still far away. Anna entered a small village, eyes wide with suspicion. A woman offered bread, but Anna's hands trembled as she whispered, "Thank you." Faces blurred in her vision, replaced by Samuel's smile. Daniel's shadow followed every step. Her mother's voice scolded her in memory, "Obey." The innocent's face flashed in her mind, innocence forever trapped. Silent observers' silence rang louder than words, a bond unspoken. The enforcer's looming presence haunted her, even in safety. Anna whispered, "I don't belong anywhere." Villagers stared with pity, but pity could not undo the scars carved deep. She was free, yet she carried a prison inside. At night, Anna sat by a fire, flames crackling. She whispered, "I still hear them chanting." Her mother's cold approval haunted the smoke. Daniel's betrayal carved wounds deeper than bruises. Samuel's face sneered in memory, glowing with firelight. The innocent's cry echoed in the distance of her thought. Silent observers' bravery was a thin thread she clung to. The enforcer's hesitation became the only proof that cruelty was not absolute. Anna hugged her knees, shivering despite the warmth. "No." The fire glowed, but the shadows whispered, reminding her she would never truly be untouched. Survival had cost her innocence, and peace remained distant. Days later, Anna stared at her reflection in river water. She whispered, "I survived." Yet Samuel's voice returned, "You belong to us." Daniel's face appeared in memory, broken by guilt. Her mother's eyes condemned her even from afar. The innocent's laughter echoed, cut short by fear. Silent observers' whisper still guided her, "Run." The enforcer's shadow lingered, a reminder of the prison she escaped. Anna touched the water, ripples distorting her face. She whispered, "I'm free, but freedom is heavy." The cult's chains no longer bound her body, but they lived in her mind, scars carved deeper than flesh. Anna walked deeper into the forest, every step echoing with the weight of memory. She whispered, "Silence is heavier than chains." Samuel's voice haunted her, "You belong to us." Daniel's tearful betrayal carved its wound again. Her mother's approval of her suffering burned her chest. The innocent's laughter rang out in her mind, cut short by fear. Silent observers' whisper, "Run," still guided her. The enforcer's lowered staff lingered like an unanswered question. Anna stared at the pale dawn breaking through trees. She thought, "Freedom is not light, it is shadow." She carried the cult within, even as she walked away. The village healer asked softly, "Where do you come from?" Anna lowered her eyes, unable to speak. Samuel's lies still chained her tongue. Daniel's broken whisper, "I give her to you," echoed like a curse. Her mother's face appeared in memory, stern and unyielding. The innocent's eyes flashed, wide and trusting, forever trapped in the cult's grasp. Silent observers, silence weighed heavier than screams. The enforcer's looming figure haunted her reflection. Anna whispered, "Nowhere." The healer looked at her with pity, but pity could not erase scars. Truth lived in silence, carved too deep for words. At night, Anna dreamed of fire. Samuel's voice roared, "Family is forever." Daniel wept in shadows, whispering, "Forgive me." Her mother stood with torch, eyes merciless. The innocent cried, calling her name. Silent observer reached a trembling hand but vanished. The enforcer raised his staff, but this time his face was blank, unreadable. Anna screamed in her sleep, whispering, "You will not take me back." She woke, drenched in sweat, the darkness of the hut pressing on her chest. Freedom had not ended the nightmare. It had only given it room to breathe. Days later, Anna sat by the river, watching the water flow endlessly. She whispered, "They are gone, but not inside me." Samuel's smile lingered, smug and poisonous. Daniel's voice cracked in her ears, begging forgiveness. Her mother's condemnation echoed across the ripples. The innocent's laughter turned to cries, carried by wind. Silent observer's silence filled her lungs like smoke. The enforcer's shadow towered over her reflection. Anna touched the water, ripples distorting her face. She whispered, "I survived, but survival is not peace." The river carried her reflection away, but not her scars. Anna walked away from the village under the fading light, carrying silence like a wound. She whispered, "I still hear them chanting in my dreams." Samuel's voice followed, "You belong to us." Daniel's broken plea cut her heart. Her mother's words poisoned the air. The innocent's cry pierced the quiet. Silent observer's whisper echoed faint, "Run." The enforcer's shadow loomed behind her in memory. Anna stopped, looking at the horizon, her voice steady now. "Only two of us ever made it out." Her words ended like a scar across silence, sharp, haunting, unforgettable.